What's going on, dudes and dudettes? So yes, USC got a transfer from the portal and a 4-star running back while he was in high school from the University of Texas once again, so we're purging them, which always feels good. But this time it's a running back, and his name is Keontay Ingram. He was one of the better guys stat-wise out there in Texas history for their school, so it's good to have him. I'm obviously hoping from another running back, according to my other video earlier this week, and Zach Charbonnet from Michigan, and apparently it turns out it's down to UCLA and USC like how I mentioned. So hopefully he does choose USC, even though they just picked up another transfer, because I think he still will get more playing time over Ingram, because I believe he's better. But I have to wait and see. Hopefully I can update that soon. But yes, definitely glad to have another Texan away from the University of Texas. Then one sadly thing we found out after getting Damani Jackson the other day is that linebacker Niuafe Tuihalamaka, I believe that's how you say his name. He's a linebacker from Bishop Alemany out there in like Santa Clarita Valley area. He has been committed to USC for quite a bit, but recently decommitted. And I think it's because of those stooges at the University of Notre Dame, because they recently offered him. And of course, whenever a Polynesian guy gets offered from there, they always have to think about it even a little bit more because of a guy like Manti Te'o, who went there and was like a generational type of dude, type of linebacker for them. So I don't know if he does end up going there. It's gonna suck. We'll see him once a year, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know if he's officially said if he's gonna still reconsider USC or not, but hopefully he does. Then, or maybe it's because USC is getting a couple other good linebackers. You never know. That's what I'm hoping for. And then a little bit of other USC football news. So their tight ends coach, John David Baker, recently took the job. I believe it was, I don't know if it's the same position or some type of offensive coordinator, analyst, something like that. It's probably a little bit more. It's the main reason why he left to Ole Miss. But of course, Lane Kiffin, who was an ex-USC assistant and head coach at one point, is pouching some of our guys from here, which sucks, but I'm pretty sure we can find another tight end coach, and plus they haven't really shown stat-wise what they can do at USC, so it might be time for a change anyways. And then when it comes to the Lakers, they've been on the road, obviously, but they're still undefeated so far in this stretch run where they played the Chicago Bulls to start off. And yes, it was a return to the city for Anthony Davis, an ex-Chicago person. And yeah, luckily the Lakers got the victory, nice victory, and even he had 37 points, some nice home cooking for the guy who's a main guy who grew up there. So at least they're able to get the W and move on, but yeah, glad they're able to get that. Then Chargers have been making a couple of hires throughout both offense, defense, special teams, but want to highlight just 3 guys because they're the main coordinators, offensive, defense, and special teams. The other guys are your nice glue guys, but these are guys going to be the main guys to blame or either congratulate to how good the Chargers look. So Joe Lombardi has been hired as the offensive coordinator. He's been the offensive coordinator on and off again with the Saints the past couple years, so it was high on a lot of lists. I think even the Chargers had interviewed him for a head coaching job, but he's good friends with head coach right now, Brandon Staley, and they always thought they'd be able to work together especially well, so it looks like a good hire. Luckily they're able to get a guy like that as their OC. Then they poached a guy from one of their rivals, a defensive backs coach in the Denver Broncos, Ronaldo Hill, who's an ex-player as well, but they're actually going to make him the defensive coordinator. Once again, another guy who has always been really good friends with Brandon Staley. Even Staley worked 1 year with the Broncos as well under Big Fangio. So, and it's good too that showing a little bit of minority, he's an African American as well. So that's always good to see. And then they hired a special teams coach, which the Chargers have been pretty bad on special teams, so hopefully they'll be able to do some better stuff. But this guy seems like he's legit. Darius Swinton II, I believe his last stint was with the San Francisco 49ers. So they've been pretty okay in the special teams area, so we'll see what he can do. We have a lot better guys coming back and a lot of draft picks coming up to get guys for the special teams as well. So we'll see how that goes. Then, yes, USC basketball played Cal the other day, and Evan Mobley went off, but luckily USC was able to get the victory 76-68. And Evan Mobley had a career high 25 points. He looked like, the top overall pick that he should look like, and especially on the defensive side as well. Just hope he can still be able to keep it going, and hopefully USC doesn't have to cancel any more games as of right now. Then they said that in this article that Leonard Floyd would be the most likely Los Angeles Ram that would come over to the Chargers with Brandon Staley. There are a couple other guys, especially defensively, but Floyd is a guy who, I don't know if he was traded there from the Bears or if he just signed there, because the Bears kind of gave up on him. He was a first round pick for the Bears out of Florida, supposed to be a really good outside linebacker, but never developed into it there. And then I'm pretty sure he followed Staley, because Staley was with the Bears for a stint as well. But under Staley, they're getting a starting spot there in LA. He was able to flourish under that position and do very well for this 1 year. So hopefully, since he is only on a 1 year deal, he would like to stay in LA but come to the Chargers and follow his coach again and be able to get a starting job right away, because that is a position that Chargers are most likely going to move on from Melvin Ingram, and will need a standing outside linebacker type of deal / defensive end on the side. Then the Anaheim Ducks got their second victory of the year against the Colorado Avalanche, 3-1. It's good to see, but I think they ended up losing the following game, which sucks. So they've been pretty bad so far. It does suck. Then, of course, Arizona State is once again hiring another quality analyst from USC, but now they're making him a linebackers coach, and Chris Claiborne, who in his past, when he was younger, he was a great USC linebacker for his time. But I don't know, it just sucks that USC is getting these guys as quality analysts, and they're on the team as like assistant coaches, but they're never given the main position job, and then they leave and go somewhere else. Just like I mentioned, Hayes Pollard, the other linebacker quality analyst for USC, went to the Jets the other week. So yeah, I don't know why USC doesn't higher up within, especially their old players, but I don't know, hopefully they don't end up losing guys. But maybe that's why they lost the linebacker and Tui Halamaka, because he is a linebackers coach. So just a ripple effect of what can happen in college football. Then Duke finally ended their 3-game losing streak against Georgia Tech. At points when I was watching, it did look like they were going to lose again, but luckily they're able to get that victory and snap it. And I don't know, it's been a really weird year. It's weird to see them just right around 500 right now. I think barely over a game, and maybe if the tournament started today, they probably wouldn't even make March Madness tournament, but you never know. But you can say the same thing for Kentucky and North Carolina as well. They've been pretty bad. And then when it comes to an ex-USC offensive lineman, Chad Wheeler, he was recently with the Seattle Seahawks, but unfortunately a lot of news has come out the past day or two where he had an incident that involved a woman where, I don't know, it's all alleged stuff as of this second, but it was big enough that the Seahawks were willing to let him go off his contract just because of the disturbing stuff they heard. And allegedly they got into an altercation, and he did enough pushing and shoving of her that she eventually knocked out and was unconscious, and then either she tried to escape or he left her somewhere. So I don't know, it's really bad look, especially for any team and any player like that. I doubt he's going to get another opportunity. Most likely it's going to face jail time and everything becomes true. So I don't know. I know some people are even saying it's attempted murder. So I don't know. It's really bad look. I even take this personally because he was an ex-USC player. And yeah, it just sucks. But hopefully the justice system will do it correctly, and we'll get this all behind us, and hopefully she'll be able to move on with her life successfully as well. Then a couple of miscellaneous news. The Killers have actually brought back their guitarist. I forget his name, but Yes, they finally brought him back. He wasn't on, I know officially the last record that came out last year. I don't know if it was the record prior, if he was on or not. I think he was. But this last record he wasn't in. It was okay. I still like the record, but there were some songs that could have used that extra, or punch with a guitar at certain points. And it's always good to have, especially your main guys back, because then you're always able to get a perspective on songs, especially the way it sounds. And Brandon Flower is the main guy. That's why whenever he wanted to do his own stuff, he had 2 albums solo, and they were very different sounding type of stuff, which kind of is bleeding into these most recent Killers records, which I don't mind because I still liked a lot of that stuff, but it does belong by itself, I think, without like a main guitar like what the Killers are. But with him back, it should be good. And I think they even teased a new song as well. I'm not much on Facebook, but maybe I'll be able to get to hear it on YouTube. Somebody puts it up. But yeah, so it's good to see, and I know they have a record that they might release this year as well, so hopefully he gets on there, and that'll be cool. And of course, this last week, I believe it was Tuesday, it was the sad anniversary of when Kobe and Gianna Bryant and the 7 others on that horrific helicopter crash that happened late January last year. It's just crazy to think that it's been a year already, and we're mourning still, mostly people, especially if you're true fans, and even if you're maybe not a true fan but a parent as well, it could be pretty hard for you to handle sometimes too. It just sucks, the whole situation. And even some stuff, like obviously Vanessa Bryant, his wife, wants us to celebrate it. It's just tough because there is an ongoing investigation against the pilot, who is now deceased as well, and looking at the flight plan and saying that it probably was his fault, that he should have put the helicopter down, especially in a place like Van Nuys, which they were close to prior to that. But I don't know, plus the airline said they've said no to Kobe before, and he's been upset. But who knows, because I heard Kobe did really want to catch a game or two before his girls got to play in that tournament up there in his Mamba Academy. But I don't know, I don't think he would have done that, especially with the weather. But I don't know, it just sucks. It's very unfortunate. We just wish everything was not real, so you can say it's a smokescreen for him to be able to get out of a certain situation, and then be able to show out the real news that I hear what really happened with that crash. But I don't know, it's all hearsay as of this second, but hopefully we'll get a bunch of news about a lot of stuff within the next couple of months, weeks, years, be able to pull the curtain down and see the wizard behind the curtain, all that stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe, comment down below, let me know what y'all think. Have a good rest of your day. See ya.